All right, we'll go ahead and get started because we need all the time we have today. So welcome to another week of school. My name is Mr. Bixler. I am up here because I, along with Ms. Young, help to coordinate the work of the Student Council organization. And today is election day, so you have a slate of candidates here. There we go, and you can see the ballot there. You're going to hear speeches from these candidates today. They're going to proceed in the order listed on the ballot. And then later today, high school students, you're going to have the opportunity to vote in the Commons over lunch and after school for your candidates of choice. I'm going to let Ms. Roth, who's our government teacher, say a few words about voting.
So first, since I'm up here, quick reminder as baseball coach that senior night tonight for baseball and golf is happening at 5 o'clock on the fields. We'd love to see as many of you as could possibly make it tonight. That is at 5, but if you want to be there for the recognitions, be there at 4:45. But more importantly, I am up here as a government teacher to talk about voting and what you all will be doing today. The most important part of any election is a candidate's platform, their vision and their goals, plus their gifts and qualities that make them likely to fulfill the role, which you are about to hear from these candidates up here in their speeches. The campaigning that has come before has been a show of hard work and effort, but the goals and gifts of these candidates is more important than the campaign tactics that have come to this point. And I want to quickly reiterate that any promises you may have made about voting so far or discussions you may have had pre-election are not binding. When you enter the voting booth, you can vote however you want, and you should vote however you want, and that vote will be kept secret. In fact, I would like to encourage everyone not to share how they voted for the rest of this week. After that, go for it. But I would really, really encourage as many of you as are willing to not say who you're voting for or what you voted for, because that will take social pressure off the votes. I want to remind you that these positions are the most powerful student voice to our administration. They're also the group that is most focused on collective school culture and student community. So think seriously about who you're voting for today. Think of the gifts that they bring to the table. If we were voting today for the best faculty musician to lead music in chapels for next year, even though Jody is one of my closest friends, and she knows that I am very gifted and a hard worker who has many gifts, I hope she wouldn't vote for me for that role, because if she did, my gifts and vision don't match what is needed. And that should take nothing away from who I am as a person or our friendship, her not voting for me for that. So think seriously about the balance you want on the Student Voice Forum. Consider the age and the class they are a part of, the gender, the friend group they're from, the activities and the subcultures they're involved in here at school, and their gifts and vision, their communication and listening skills, and their ability to work for the betterment of all and work with and for others. Thank you so much to the candidates for the vision you guys have for the future of this student body and the time and effort you guys have already put into your run. I look forward to hearing your platforms and visions today. And students, I look forward to your votes and you showing that this community takes student leadership seriously and that it isn't just a popularity or joke vote. So please, go vote. It's election day.
Thank you, Ms. Roth, for all those things. The more you say, the less people remember. I think this quote from Anatole France really applies to these SCO speeches. So I'm going to try my best to be as concise as possible. My name is Caden Curry, candidate for SCO president. I'm a rising junior, a Christmas Fund Drive planning team member, manager for the boys varsity basketball team, and serve as one of the sophomore representatives on SCO Forum. Next year will be my 8th year at this school. Some ideas to fix issues with communication are regular updates, whether that's through reviving the SCO Instagram account or even bringing back SCO recaps and interviews on YouTube. Sometimes students aren't fully aware of how to share their input with SCO. Some ideas I have for that are physical and digital feedback boxes that will be open to every single meeting and polls for things such as Spirit Week themes, including class colors, and wildfire themes. When it comes to wildfire, I want to work with the club to create a position on SCO Forum where 1 or 2 wildfire representatives will attend meetings to discuss things such as the pep rally, Spirit Week, and planning other school spirit events. This can help Wildfire focus on making sports events more engaging by things such as bringing in student-led halftime events or challenges. Also, I recognize that many may see my grade status as a sophomore as a weakness, but I see it as a strength. Being a junior as president means I bring both high school experience and perspective because I'll still have a year ahead of me. This allows me to focus on not just making an impact right now for me and my class next year, but creating improvements that will go past next year. So, if you want someone who has experience, strong leadership skills, and connections across grades, I'd really appreciate it if you vote Caden Curry for SCO president. Thank you.
So for those of you who don't know me, my name is William Fletchall, and I'm running to be your next SCO president. If elected, my primary goal is to transform SCO back into what it was always meant to be, a true student government. Right now, SCO operates primarily by collecting feedback after the fact, and then, hold up. They have an event, and then they ask for feedback. I think a better alternative would be gathering your input first and then planning events accordingly. That way, you guys will actually be excited about events and want to participate more. What this will do will give SCO more time to focus on things like the phone policy. For me, that means talking about smartwatches, hopefully bringing those back, and pushing to make sure that a way for the day is like really truly looked at. As for why I'm the right person for this role, I've held various leadership positions on soccer teams, both for and outside of the school, and I've served as a We Serve officer. Those experiences have taught me how to lead, collaborate, and communicate effectively, and I think I'm a pretty approachable guy and not afraid of good constructive criticism. So if you want a president who listens, takes action, and most importantly, makes your voice heard, I hope you vote for Will Fletchall over lunch in the comments. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mackenzie Drumheller, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a current junior, and I'm running for the position of vice president. As vice president, I would be responsible for communicating with students about improvements they want to see in SCO and events, helping to keep events organized, as well as executing the events properly for the students to enjoy and look forward to in future years. This past year, I had some leadership roles that allowed me to experience the different aspects of leadership, as well as what qualifications were needed in order to succeed. One of these roles, for example, was being a junior class officer and helping to plan junior-senior banquet. This year, junior class officers and sponsors thought it would be best to create a new committee in order to prepare for after dinner. This decision was made due to it being a busy time of year for senior parents who normally take care of that, with graduation rapidly approaching and having to figure out what happens with their child after high school. This new after dinner committee is a committee I am head of. Although it was confusing and a struggle at times, I believe I have done well thus far at leading the committee and my team, given that I came into this with zero expectations. I feel that this situation demonstrates my flexibility and willingness to adjust when needed, making me a very reliable asset in stressful situations. I have other roles within the school community as well, such as being a captain for our school's volleyball team, co-organizational leader for the newly formed club Roots, the baseball manager, as well as a member in other clubs such as We Serve and Windsog. As it seems, I keep myself busy and dedicate my time to taking hard classes here at school and participating in extracurricular activities. You may be wondering then, why would I try so hard to be vice president if I'm already so busy? And honestly, the answer is pretty simple. I believe the plans I have for the school and student body would help the SCO begin acting more as a governing body rather than a planning committee for events, which is kind of all people see SCO as. The ways that I plan to do this is by advocating for the needs of the students in whatever way is needed most at the time, as well as being transparent with everyone when it comes to SCO making decisions that may either receive questions or lashback. My goal is not to change SCO in every way possible, but rather make it so students feel more comfortable talking to the executives and voicing opinions they may have. I know I said earlier I wanted to make it so SCO wasn't only known as an event planning committee, but that's still one of SCO's many jobs they are responsible for. Although there are many other ideas I have for SCO, such as fundraising events like Dunk a Senior, regular events like Movie Night or Jeopardy Night, or even hosting more wildfire tailgates and rallies, I believe I've talked long enough and people are going to start getting bored soon. I'll end my speech by saying one last thing, and that is I'm not going to promise you something I know I can't keep. But I can promise you that if you elect me as your vice president, I'll try my hardest through and through to do what's best for you and the school as a whole. Thank you, and I hope you consider voting Mackenzie as your next vice president.
my name is Izzy Ozcan, and I am running for vice president. I'm currently a sophomore, which means next year I will be a junior. My main focus for SCO is good communication. Not just communication between the SCO and the students, but between the SCO and the teachers as well, especially around SCO-led events like the Olympics, to see what truly has to change. However, while I was running, I noticed something that stuck out to me. The idea that me running for SCO is unserious. Yeah, while it may not be about who has the most tung 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 sahurs on their posters, or who has the most dancing AI kittens on the hallway, it is about who has the most energy and drive to make real change to the school. Changes like adding ballot boxes to the hallways to see what students really want to hear about events, not just what the SCO thinks they want to hear. Changes like involving the wildfire to SCO activity to really improve activities like the pep rally and improve just athletics in general. While I could go on about what changes I hope to make as SCO Vice President, I'm going to have to wrap up my speech there with a quote from our current Vice President, Marshall Nichols. Izzy is a good Vice President. He is a strong candidate because he has great leadership skills, which is a necessary aspect to be a Vice President. You should vote Izzy Ozcan for Vice President. Thank you, Marshall, and thank you, everybody, for listening to my speech.
Hi, my name is Eve Bixler, and I'm a current sophomore running for SCO Secretary. I'm running because I believe that a strong secretary needs to have communication, organization, and structure. I'm someone who will show up, know what I need to do, and get things accomplished. I know that my time management and planning skills will help SCO stay effective and efficient. As secretary, I will be in charge of communication, and my abilities will help me to make sure every student feels informed and included in what's happening at our school. To do this, I plan to increase communication in a few concrete ways. First, I want to create an active SCO Instagram account to keep students updated in a quick and accessible way. I have had lots of success and experience running the volleyball Instagram in the fall, and I'm bringing that knowledge with me. Second, I will work to create space in chapel and slides on the TV for announcements so everyone stays informed, regardless of if you have social media or not. Third, I will place suggestion boxes similar to the prayer boxes around the school so students can share their ideas and input anonymously. All of that communication is aimed at increasing student participation. I want to build more school spirit and participation at events. To help start this, I will decrease student costs for events. I want to bring back a working vending machine that is fully stocked by student preference so that students have access to snacks before practice, and those funds will go towards lowering student costs. I'm excited to be running alongside highly qualified treasurer candidate Simon Blosser, and together we will work to represent you all, with the vending machine project being the first of many. Ultimately, I believe that involvement in the school and strong leadership is essential for SCO executive. I participate in varsity volleyball and soccer, choir, and multiple clubs here at EMHS, which has allowed me to connect with many different groups of people. Through my involvement, I have learned how to communicate effectively, balance a full schedule, and lead by example. I hope to bring these leadership qualities and connections to SCO to better represent and support the student body. So, I would love the opportunity to represent you as SCO Secretary and use my organizational skills, dependability, and experience with communication to increase participation and inclusion. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Teo Diener, and I'm running for SCO Secretary this year. You might be wondering, why am I qualified for this position? Out of everyone running for Secretary, I bring the most leadership experience to the table. For the past 5 years, I've served on the Christmas Fund Drive leadership team, where I've gained valuable experience planning chapels, organizing events, and fundraising. I've also spent the past year on the SCO Forum representing the sophomores, which has given me an inside look at how SCO works and how it can improve. The biggest change I want to make is improving communication between students, faculty, and SCO. To do that, I want to implement 2 new policies. First, I want SCO to send out a monthly email to the student body sharing what we've been working on and what's coming next. Second, I want to create an anonymous question box similar to the prayer request box where students can submit questions or concerns to SEO. Those questions could then be answered in the monthly email, making SEO more transparent and more connected to the student body. I'd also like to explore adding new student-run events like a talent show, continue the tradition of holding a lock-in every 2 years, and work with teachers to make sure everyone is on the same page. Finally, I want to look into possible commons upgrades, such as adding a pool table, adding couches, replacing outdated furniture, depending on the budget. If you want a secretary who will lead with integrity, improve communication, listen to students, and bring fresh ideas to SEO, please vote Teo Diener for secretary. Thank you for your time.
Hello, EMS students and staff. My name is Jessica Mongold, and today I stand in front of you as a candidate for Secretary of the Student Body. I get it. You're probably thinking, who is this girl, and why is she even running to begin with? Well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an all-A student. I'm currently in 4 different clubs. I'm a student athlete and a backstage member for the play. I am kind, organized, and I work well with others, which are crucial traits to have, especially for a secretary. But most importantly, I'm committed. Not only committed to taking this role seriously, but committed to ensuring that this upcoming school year runs smoothly, efficiently, and organized. Well, how can this upcoming year run smoothly, efficiently, and organized? Great question. For starters, I think having more students' attendance at wildfire events by doing tailgates before games will bring more positivity and community to the school. That funding can be achieved with consistent student fundraisers, kind of like the baked goods and things that I did, something similar to that. Also, I feel using your guys' thoughts and opinions during this year is a key way to success. So I want to start having optional bi-weekly meetings during lunch, kind of like what we did during the cell phones, where people can openly express how they feel and their opinions, because everyone's voice matters, no matter how big or small you are. Finally, I'd like to be more consistent with social media platforms to help communicate with everyone and get more support in events and fundraisers. Today, I not only stand here as a candidate, but also as a student and friend. And as your friend and fellow classmate, I promise to make sure that your opinion is heard. I believe in you. I believe that you will make the right decision, and I believe that you will vote for a candidate who is determined, organized, and hardworking. This is your chance to vote for a secretary that will help you look back and say, my 2026 through 2027 school year was amazing. Every vote counts, and now it's up to you to vote. So vote Jessica Mongold for secretary, and I promise you will not regret it. Thank you, guys.
My name is Simon Blosser, and I will be running for your SCO treasurer. When I woke up this morning, I didn't remember that I had a doctor and dentist appointment, just a dentist appointment. And so when I walked in there, the dentist asked me, "Why are you wearing a suit?" And so I replied, "I have this important student council treasurer speech. Got to make sure I look good for." So then I asked up with the following question: wouldn't you agree that the treasurer position is kind of stereotyped with like being easy or just basic budgeting factors? And she was like, "Yeah, I guess that's true. I kind of do see the treasurer position that way." And so then I told her, and I'll tell everyone right now, that my hope is to innovate a new type of treasurer position that provides more input to SCO, budget related or not, focuses on transparency, and can fundraise when needed. All right, I'm going to bring 3 fundamentals of finance to the table. Connections, how well you work with your team and administration, your accessibility, and your experiences with others. Quality, organization, commitment, and capability. And lastly, people needs, being open to change and new ideas, being solution-focused, creative, and transparent. As your SCO treasurer, I will administer these qualities with a couple of ideas. The first is updates on how SCO is doing financially. If we have a surplus, which is like having too much money for your lemonade stand. We might want to do an SEO event or chapel. If we have a deficit, which is the opposite, we could do a more general SEO fundraiser. SEO will make these updates on the TV or in chapel, and then ask what people would want to do with the information, what it means, and what it means for them through a Google form. Okay, so maybe you zoned out, so here's a list of all my future responsibilities as your SEO treasurer, including new ideas and unsaid, more obvious ones. Budgeting, financial updates, fundraising if necessary, an SEO event suggestion box, post-event feedback and highlights, an SEO chapel, being accessible, leadership, and your hype man. Finally, I'm running alongside an amazing secretary candidate, Eve Bixler, with whom I work well and fully endorse all of her platform. So if you want a new perspective on SEO, feeling connected, related to, and led, even though I'm running unopposed, go big, go Blosser. Feel free to ask me any questions. Thank you.
Thank you again to all of our candidates for sharing your platforms. And a reminder, polls will be open during lunch and after school till 3:15 for high school students, so please come by the Commons to vote. You are dismissed.